I want you to think about that last relationship that you're in, or your longest relationship. You're more than likely the 1.0 version of yourself when she left you. You're probably in your 20s, very young. You were not in peak shape. You were emotionally reactive. You weren't disciplined. You didn't know your value or your future potential. You were lacking direction, didn't know what your purpose was, and didn't really focus on doing something that you were passionate about. And me personally, I've been in relationships for over 15 years. I'm in my mid-30s now. And I got myself in my first relationship, serious relationship, at 18 years old. So I didn't really know what I was doing. I was a young man in his 20s. I wasn't striving for anything greater. I wasn't in the best shape of my life. I thought getting in a relationship would fill that empty void I had inside, because I didn't like being alone. So I'd always find myself in relationships. And I didn't focus on the areas that we need to focus on as men, but it's okay, it's part of the process. And being a man in his 20s, it's a perfect time to make a bunch of mistakes, as long as you learn from them. But because I was this lower version of myself, this version 1.0, the women that left me, the ones that replaced me for other men, they judged my presence. And women do this, right? Women assume psychologically that if he hasn't grown up by now, I don't see a future with him. He never will. And this is just part of women's psychology, right? They're looking for a man that they can be with, that can provide safety, security, and a future with, right? And at that time, being a young man in my 20s, and you might be able to relate as well if you got yourself in relationships at a young age, it didn't look too promising, right? When a woman was in a relationship with us, they didn't see the future. And as much as it hurt me at the time, having a woman walk out of your life, finding out that a week later, she's already with a new guy. And at the time, it really hurt. Being replaced by another guy. Looking at your ex-partner with a new man in a week. It destroyed me. So these women only judge you by your present state. They don't realize that you can make a comeback story from this. And when you utilize this adversity, the pain of your breakup, the mistakes that you made in your 20s, neglecting the areas that you now know you should have focused on, it's perfectly fine as a man, because men start to peak in their 30s. Their value starts to increase in their 30s, whereas women, their value goes down in their 30s. So we're essentially playing a different game, right? Men have the perfect opportunity to start again in their 30s, in their 40s, even 50s. But women, their chances of having children starts to decrease once they reach their 30s. So for us men, this is the perfect opportunity to plant that seed to growth, to create that 2.0 version of yourself, to work in silence. Because let me tell you something, after you went through that breakup, she was more than likely getting herself in another relationship with another man. And that's okay. So while she was out dating, while she's out maybe partying, traveling the world, living life in a new career, you took personal responsibility for your personal growth. And you didn't do this to be spiteful towards her. You didn't do this out of revenge or resentment. You just sat in silence. You excluded yourself from getting in another relationship because you knew that you had work that you needed to focus on. And you started to shift that identity. You started to leverage your power as a man to rebuild your self-worth. You created a stronger mindset. You got in the best shape of your life. You started to become better looking, more leaner. You removed all the vices that were holding you back. You focused on your purpose. You focused on your career, having a better relationship with yourself, having that self-love, not needing anyone else to make you feel worthy. And now your value has increased. You become the prize at this point. And this is essentially how you can turn the tables around. So if you're a man in his 30s, 40s, or 50s, this is the perfect opportunity to focus on rebuilding your value. And you can do this in a short amount of time, but you must take personal responsibility. So when you use the pain of the breakup, that will give you fuel to recreate this new identity. Because as humans, unfortunately, and this has happened to myself, we need to hit some sort of rock bottom. We need to go through some sort of pain to come out on the other side. Yes, I know there are some men who don't wait for everything to fall apart and they make those changes. But if you're like me, you need to go through some sort of pain, some sort of adversity, and then rewrite that next chapter. But this is the beauty of working in silence. This is the beauty of focusing on yourself. Because when you take personal accountability, when you focus on building a man that you're proud of, a 2.0 version of yourself, a savage, utilizing the pain of that breakup, you become a better man. The universe starts rewarding you. You need to think about this breakup as a gift, because if it wasn't for this breakup, you more than likely would be stuck either in that relationship, miserable. Years and years and years would go by, and it would be probably harder for you to change if you're in that relationship for extended periods of time. Like myself, my longest relationship was 7 years. And it wasn't easy, right? Being in a long-term relationship, having so many weaknesses, getting myself in that relationship in my late 20s. When that relationship fell apart, when she broke up with me, I was completely broken. I had an identity crisis. I didn't know who I was anymore. I had vices in my life. I didn't know what my purpose was. I had severe depression, severe anxiety, and I just didn't feel like being here anymore. But that's when I wrote that comeback story. And when my ex-partner reached out to me, once I recreated this new identity, this man that I was proud of, we spoke, and she had dated approximately 3 guys during that time that I worked in silence. So she was out dating, she didn't focus on healing, and she got herself in other relationships. And this more than likely has happened to you as well, where she just started dating again. She got straight into dating after she broke up with you, as a majority of women do. However, when she spoke to me, she said, look, after dating all these guys, getting myself in other relationships, none of them worked out. They don't compare to you. And what's going through her mind at this point, the psychology behind her way of thinking, is I've lost out. She starts to mentally compare you to the men she dated straight after the breakup. Okay, she ends up just comparing you to them. Now that she can see that you're thriving, you're a better version of yourself, you're better looking, you don't even look the same anymore. You look healthy. You look like someone that's on a mission in life, someone with strong positive energy, and she will see that you're doing better. We live in the digital age now where social media is just one click away. And she'll be like, damn, I lost out on this guy. I gave up on this person too soon. And that's not her coming back into my life because she misses me, because she loves me. It's because she didn't do the healing. She got herself in other relationships, dated other guys, tried to test the waters, and had no luck, so tried to return back to me. And it's okay. It is what it is. But this is the beauty of creating a man that you're proud of. This is the beauty of recreating a 2.0 version of yourself that you've never created. You've got the power as a man to rewrite that next chapter of your life. You've got the power to focus on your purpose. Focus on building a better version of you, mentally, physically, spiritually. And like I mentioned before, while your value can start to peak in your 30s, in your 40s, even your 50s as a man, it's never too late to write that comeback story. Her value starts to decrease in her 30s. That's when my ex-girlfriend came back into my life. She was in her early 30s. Her biological clock was ticking. And because she didn't get the outcome that she wanted, because she focused on getting herself in another relationship or dating other men, and they didn't work out, she came running back to me. Because that 1.0 version of myself would always provide certainty in letting her know that I'm always here, I'm not going anywhere. That was the weak, vulnerable version of myself. But when she came back into my life, I was no longer this version. And that's the beauty of shifting your identity, of destroying that old version of yourself, going through the pain of the adversity, sitting in silence. Who cares if she dates other men? Who cares if she gets herself in a relationship with someone else, replaces you for another guy? As painful as that sounds, know that this is a gift from the man above. And once you evolve into this 2.0 identity, you'll end up attracting a much better woman. You'll more than likely be in another relationship, or you might start to date again, but you'll attract a better woman. Reason being is because you've now focused on your value, your self-worth. You no longer look the same. You're a new identity, a better looking version of yourself in the best shape of your life, who has purpose, who no longer makes a woman the center of his world. Now women start to chase you. You no longer have to try so hard. And this will happen to you. Once you shift into this identity, you will notice that there are much more perks being this version of yourself. Women just become easy because you're the prize now. You worked in silence. You didn't have that anger and resentment towards your ex. You might have at the start, but you used that pain as fuel and you worked in silence. And now the universe, the man above, gifts you a beautiful woman to suit that new identity because you put in the work. You reflected, you took ownership, you took responsibility. You didn't blame anyone else. You fixed your mindset and you get gifted back in return. But here's where things take an ultimate turn. You'll more than likely go through this position where your ex-partner, the one that left you for another guy, the one that broke up with you, whatever your circumstance was at the time, she's going to come back into your life and test you because you now have value as a man. And you got to understand that she's not coming back out of love. She's coming back out of regret. And if you're not grounded when it happens, you will mistake her return for something real. And the man above, the universe, is going to more than likely put you through this test. If you've been through this before, you could probably relate with what I'm saying. But again, this happened to me. That ex-partner tried to come back because she knew I'd moved on with someone else. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I don't want you to make the same mistake. I don't want you to go back to the person that left you, the person that didn't see that future potential in you, that just gave up when you were going through the motions in life as a young man, when you were that 1.0 version of yourself. She judged you way too soon. She judged you in that present state. And now she'll try and come back and try to claim you being the prize, that 2.0 version. And when you think about the psychology in her mind at this point, it's all out of regret. It's not out of love. It's not because she misses you. She's essentially at this point thinking another woman is going to get the man that I gave up on. And this is the most painful emotion that any woman has to go through. Think about it. She left you, she didn't see hope, potential, a future with you, replaced you for another guy. That relationship didn't work out. You worked in silence. You're this new version of yourself. And now you're in a relationship with someone else. Now you're dating someone else. Now you look better. And at this point, she's absolutely spewing over what she lost. She's thinking another woman will benefit from what she walked away from. Because now you're an asset. You were a liability before, but now you're an asset. Now you bring value. Now you help other people. Now you don't have that weak mindset. Now you're putting a dent in the universe. You've built a man that you're proud of. So what she walked away from, the new woman, your next woman, gets to benefit from that. And so she should, because you sat in silence, you worked on yourself. As painful as it was, God then gifted you a better woman to suit that new identity. And that's just how life works. But I don't want you to go back thinking that this is love. She misses you. This is her regretting her decision. She's got to now stay with that decision. And to be honest, you played the long-term game. She didn't focus on healing. And for her, this probably sucks because she's more than likely in her 30s or reaching her 30s, isn't able to find the right person to suit her. And she's probably going to settle for less because her biological clock is ticking at this point. But for you, it's okay. You've understood by watching this video that your value starts at 30. Your value can start at 40, 50. You're able to rewrite that chapter. You're a man. You've got the ability. You can leverage your power as a man. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying this in a way where you want to have revenge or resentment towards your ex. I'm just saying that she will come back into your life when you create this new version, when you're in your next relationship, when you're dating again. She will come and she'll try and be all sweet, tell you that she misses everything about you. She misses the moments that you guys had together. And you got to be strong enough, right? You got to be grounded. My ex, she didn't like the fact that my current partner is in her early 20s and I'm in my mid 30s, right? And when I say my partner's in her early 20s, I'm talking, she just turned 21. And my ex is, well, at the time that she spoke to me, a year plus after that breakup, when I created this new identity, she was more than likely about 32 years old. So she did not take it well. She started to actually degrade my current partner, saying that, what does she know about life? She's got no life experience. She's probably going to leave you later. And she started to say all these things, right? And I understand, because the psychology in her mind is, I gave up on the guy that I thought didn't have future potential. And I turned my life around. So at the end of the day, I wished her well. I really want her to meet someone who's compatible, who suits her. Because I don't have resentment, I've let go. I operate out of love. I don't operate out of fear or scarcity or jealousy. But I could see deep down that she was suffering. This really affected her. She had to live with this decision of regret, walking out of my life, giving up on my future potential. And now I've attracted a new woman to suit that new identity. And we have a great dynamic within the relationship where I lead, she follows, she complements my life. She's good energy. She supports my purpose, my direction, and she just makes my life easy. We don't have pointless arguments. Because of my character, my identity, I know what I want out of life. I'm able to set clear boundaries. I don't tolerate disrespect because I respect myself. I put myself on a pedestal. But this only happened when I focused on working in silence, embracing that time, the pain. So I don't want you to make the mistake of going back when you create this identity. I want you to understand that you can create this version of yourself. If I can do it, you can do it. There's nothing special about me. I wanted to inspire you with this video to let you know that as much as it's painful right now, as much as it sucks, you're going through the heartbreak, the low frequency emotions, you can literally rewrite this next chapter of your life. Make it the best chapter ever, because your future self is waiting for you. Your future girl is waiting for you. Your future life is waiting for you. You just don't know it, because you can't see the path clearly now, because you're stuck in these negative emotions. So if you need that help, if you feel stuck and you want to heal from this breakup, you want to recreate a new identity, build a man that you're proud of, a man that operates with purpose, a man that has direction in life, clarity, build a better you mentally, physically, spiritually, a stronger mindset to therefore attract a better woman, get back into dating again, if that's something that you want. If not, either way, I can help you build a 2.0 version of yourself. That's what I've done personally. That's what I help other men do as we speak. That's what my coaching's about, and I can help you get to the destination. So you can click the link down below. You can book a free one-to-one coaching call with me, and I'll see if you're the right fit for the program. But look, I'm going to end this video here. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me, keep making valuable content. It's all about lifting others up, giving them inspiration, sharing my wisdom, my past mistakes, what not to do, and just helping men become better. And this is what my channel is all about. If you like the video, give it a like. It always helps the algorithm. And if you want to share your comments, drop your comments down below, and share this video with someone who needs it, someone who's going through a tough time right now with a breakup, someone that you know, another man. We need to support one another during tough times, because we live in a world where everyone's just focused purely on themselves. So it's all about spreading that positivity and love. But look, ending the video here. Hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.